Hi, my name is Gabriela, and it is the 18th of October 2024. My background is fine art. I have a BA in fine art that I did at university a few years ago. I was born in Latvia, in Riga, and over the years, me and my family moved around a lot. So as a kid, I would live in America and then moved to the UK when I was a teenager. And I've been here ever since. I'm a predominantly visual artist who dabbles in woodworking and sculpture. It impacts my work in a sense that I like to look at my surroundings a lot more. I take inspiration from spaces I've been in, things I've seen. The way it impacts my work and the way I see the world is that we often overlook things that we care about, the things that we see every day. I like to incorporate some form of characters into my art using objects and scenarios and the way society views things into my work. I would say my biggest influences in terms of my art and the style would have to be Michael Craig Martin, Patrick Caulfield, and Al Held. They've figured out a way to make spaces more immersive, more three-dimensional, while keeping the two-dimensional visual view of it. And I like the colors, I like how playful work is, and that's what I like to convey through in my work as well. The playfulness, the fun aspect. I like to work big, and I like to make people think, but also make them feel like they can disconnect with the world. What I'm working on right now is creating new work. I am creating and developing new characters. I am also working in 3D to make them come to life a bit more. I'm currently focusing on a commission piece for a private client, doing an interpretation of a very common object and turning into something absolutely crazy and outrageous in lots of color, of course. I think the biggest challenge of being an artist is, unlike other jobs, you can't force creativity. Creativity comes, it flows out, sometimes unexpectedly, and you have to do some work. And sometimes when you want to do work, you block yourself and you can't. I also think a struggle of being an artist is getting yourself out there. There's a lot of artists on social media, which is great. We're getting our voices out there, but it is getting inherently harder to get yourself in front of an audience and in front of people and having your physical work on show in front of a lot of people, and it's hard these days. The advice I would give to my younger self is that I should have probably started working on my art a lot earlier, that I should push myself more when I was younger to give myself a bit of an edge. I also think the advice I would give to my younger self is just keep going. I think to succeed, you can't give up. And to be good, you have to keep going. And you have to keep trying and experimenting and trying different things to see what fits. Because at the end of the day, the more you do, the better you are. unconventional mediums I've worked in is sand. I have used sand as a base layer of portrait painting. I think it is a great medium. I have never mastered it, but I think it's really cool the textures you can make with sand. It's really fun, but also really messy. I always have to have background noise when I am creating work. I believe that it makes my brain zone in on when I'm painting or when I'm drawing or I'm thinking of a sketch. It makes me feel more into my own bubble. So sometimes it's a TV show, sometimes it's a podcast, but I will always have something on in the background. The best reaction someone's had to my work is usually when it makes them think, and when they spot places or objects in my work that I've abstracted or I've decided to completely flip, and it's kind of like a puzzle, and when people solve it, it's really nice to see. But I also appreciate when people are absolutely silent around my work, because that means that maybe they're not thinking about anything and they're just enjoying it, and that's what I make art for, is for you to kind of pause and either have some inner thoughts or just look at it, and maybe aesthetically you appreciate it. And yeah, that's all. What I hope people take away from my work is the fun, the positive energy, the playfulness, not to take things too seriously, but also appreciate the things around you, appreciate the places around you, the objects around you. We live in such a saturated society where there's so many things out there, so many options. And if people can just appreciate and just sort of relax and find it just fun to look at, something they can enjoy, that's all I want to do with my work. My social handles are at Gabriela Stelpe Art on Instagram.